the NBA's greatest games. Today, we'll take you back into NBA history and relive one of the great matchups as it happened.
Whitman, who was averaging only 6.7 points for the series, as McHale breaks free against the Hawks defense. Let me conclude that Whitman thought, Tommy, he has scored 8 points for Atlanta here in the opening period. And now Rivers bangs away. So Rivers and Whitman are carrying the load outside.
The Celtics have gambled that the Hawks in this series would not be able to hit the outside shot. And today, the Hawks have really been taking advantage of that.
On the drive, Bird with a reverse wraparound. If you can't hit outside, take it inside, instructed K.C. Jones. And Rivers comes right back and gets it for the Hawks.
Well, he may not be fast, but boy, he takes it strong to the hoop, and it's tough to angle Doc Rivers off the hoop.
The kind of start you would expect from a number 7. Moving tightly on Johnson after he picks up his dribble. Against the double team, Bird is short again, and Willis got the handle. The crowd thought he traveled. Dominique trying to get in. He was fouled. So a timeout after the first foul is assessed. Dennis Johnson. We're tied at 22. Tommy Heinsohn, nothing more important than defense here.
Dominique Wilkins has been doing a great job. Here you see him playing this play, the favorite play for Larry Bird. He comes over, and Dominique steps to the baseline and comes up on his shooting hand. Now that this man is a new wrinkle coming to double Bird when he takes the shot. It used to be this man coming up to double. They've changed, and they're going to try and contain Bird and force the ball more to Dennis Johnson. Now look at them surround Bird, and forces him to take a fall-away shot, but Dominique has really been doing a fantastic job fighting all the picks.
An excellent illustration, Tommy, of an adjustment being made here by Coach Fratello and his Hawks staff. His backcourt has provided the early scoring load here for him. Whitman is perfect 4 of 4. Rivers 3 of 6. So the two guards have 14 of the Hawks' 22 points.
Well, it may be K.C. Jones' strategy backfiring here, because all series long they have backed off and virtually dared Whitman, Rivers, Spud Webb to hit the outside shot. The only guy they've really gone up on has been Battle. And here the Hawks are really doing a tune on him from the outside. They may have to rethink in the huddle how they're going to play those guards.
Fratello is sticking with his starting 5, somewhat longer than we have seen too. Now McHale has carried the load for the Celtics with 8 points and 6 rebounds here in the first period. That time he didn't get the shot off as Kevin Willis came over on the jump hook, and the Hawks bring it down again.
Austin couldn't have gotten Kevin McHale a better position to receive the ball and right underneath the basket.
That aggressive defense that was sometimes missing for the Hawks the other night of the Omni. Is Whitman still perfect? His first miss. Parrish gets the ricochet. Bird comes far out with Wilkins hounding him. Turns inside to the double team. And they are forced to give it up against that aggressive Atlanta defense. 3-on-1. Hawkins, Wilkins for the field goal.
A great defensive job on Larry Bird that time. They sent him right where they wanted him to go and forced the turnover.
And McHale will come to the line.
This is as good a defensive job in this series as I've seen done on Larry Bird, to tell you the truth. They're forcing him into areas, and then when they know where he likes to take certain shots, and then they're attacking him.
So the superstar who put the pressure squarely on his shoulders by guaranteeing a victory here for Boston in number 7, struggling in the opening period. As Fratello goes to his bench now with Battle checking in, and Whitman sits down.
Battle has been a valuable player on this ball club. He's got that type B hepatitis, so you're not quite sure his energy level in a ball game. But he has caused the Celtics lots of problems in this series.
Tommy Livingston also on the floor for his first duty in this game. 1:15 mark. Willis double teamed and fouled.
Celtics started with a matchup on Kevin Willis, Robert Parrish, their tallest player, and he has been able to get out on front and deny Willis the ball an awful lot.
Dennis Johnson leaves with the two personals, and you got a shot of Paxson, who has checked into the Celtic backcourt. So Paxson working there with Ainge, Bird, Parrish, and McHale. The Iron Men still up front for the Boston Celtics. Rivers off the dribble, up over Parrish.
Again, they're just backed way off. The Atlanta guards giving them those shots. Easy shots, 15, 16-foot shots.
Parrish turns and goes for the layup, and he's fouled by Rollins. His second personal in the first period.
Drew Rollins has been so important for Atlanta Hawks over all these years. Doesn't score a lot, but when he spreads out in that paint, you have to think twice about what type of shot you're going to take.
When Atlanta staged its huge upset at number 5, they scored 43 points in the fourth period to put the Celtics away, with Hastings checking in for Atlanta and Akers for Boston. Rollins sits.
Jim Paxson did not make a contribution in the last game. He hurt his back down in Atlanta. Played a little bit in game 6, but was not effective. And he's really the only offensive punch the Celtics have on their bench.
Final minute of the opening period. Number 7 here for the Boston Garden. The winner moves on to take on the Detroit Pistons for the Eastern Conference Championship. Rivers put back in by Willis.
And even though the Celtics back off, it amazes me how easily Rivers can still penetrate to the basket. And that really causes problems for the Celtics.
Atlanta successful in keeping the crowd out of this in the opening period with this fine start. A double Bird in the corner. Ainge spinning. Now he finds Akers. They'll try to push the ball, but they give the Hawks an outside shot, and Livingston misses it. But for Mike Fratello and the Atlanta Hawks, they have to be extremely pleased. And for Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics, they hope that the second period works out much better than the first.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest games.
From the Boston Garden with Tommy Heinsohn, I'm Brent Musburger. We have completed the first quarter of this number 7 between the Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. A 2-point game right now. If these teams reflect their superstars, Larry Bird is off to a sluggish 2 of 7 start, while Dominique Wilkins for the Hawks shot 4 of 8. And in the backcourt, the Hawks were 8 of 13 and Boston 2 of 5. And Dominique will start this second period on the bench. It'll be Spud Webb out there with Hastings. Webb bringing it up. Livingston, Battle, and Willis. And here comes the up-tempo game.
You know, if there's one thing I saw in that first quarter is that Larry Bird usually makes the defense react to him. What the Hawks have got Bird doing is they have Bird reacting to their defense, and they're outthinking Bird with their total team.
Illegal defense on Akers, the first of the game. Boston with only 2 field goals in the final 3 minutes of that opening period. So it's Paxson with Ainge in the backcourt. Akers is out there with Roberts and Bird to start the second period, and Wilkins returning to the Hawk lineup. Webb looking in, gets it back to Battle. Got off the floor, didn't he?
Boy, that is his shot. Once he gets into that paint, it takes a center to go up as high to block a shot. And the Celtics have been killed by penetration by all the Hawk guards.
Well, the pass into Paxson, there was a foul on the inside. And of course, at the conclusion of this game, Tommy, you and I will select the Miller Lite player of this 7th game, and Miller will present a check in the amount of $1,000 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. So that first foul goes on Webb. And and the Celtics have turned it over on the offensive foul. Mike Fratello's Hawks bring it down with a 4-point lead.
The unit that's in there for Boston right now, Casey Jones does not have a lot of offense in that lineup, and they just try to hold on until they can bring all the regulars back.
Battle, misfiring that time. Ainge has an open receiver. It's Paxson, and Webb gets back like a little cornerback and knocked it out of bounds.
That was a great play by Spud Webb. And Spud just times it. Paxson had to wait for it just a little bit, but Spud right there with that speed to take it away.
And he did what a great defensive back does, too. He looked up, saw where the ball was, and then went to its intended destination. Great move by the 5'7" Webb. As Dennis Johnson has returned, they leave him alone, and he's not buying that shot. They want Bird on the inside, and he is fouled. If they can bring Larry Bird up to the free throw line, that might alter some of the game.
Well, Bird is being harassed by Dominique Wilkins, who has much quicker feet than Larry Bird. Larry Bird, historically, what the Celtics have done is attack Dominique Wilkins, figuring that Bird could outthink him. And right now, the entire Atlanta Hawks defense has put some second guessing in Larry's mind, I think. They've got him wondering where the next pass should be, and that's very unusual.
The mind games of a long NBA series. The Lakers successful in their number 7 against the Jazz. Now it's the Celtics' turn to see what they can do against the upstart Hawks. It was Dominique fouled.
Well, I don't agree with that one, because the man leans around. Laying in a low post is tough duty, and defending a guy that can leap over you. But he leaned around the man.
Getting the roll and a total of 11 points. You can take another look and see if he was fouled by Roberts, who was bodying him, and Wilkins did indeed appear to lean into him as he pulled the trigger. But the Hawks get the break, and Wilkins makes the Celtics pay to the tune of 2 more free throws as McHale, who carried the offensive load in the opening period, returns for the Celtics. The Celtics very much out of sync in this game so far. Paxson can't get it to go, and the Hawks bust out 3-on-1. Dominique pulls it up and goes to the glass. The graceful athlete that he is, with Bird watching for the first time and struggling in this number 7, the Hawks' biggest lead. And Casey Jones uses a timeout. Down by 6, he's seen enough for the time being. No doubt Detroit would prefer to be in Atlanta for number 3 of the Eastern Conference Final, but they may be hosting the Boston Celtics, depending on the outcome here. Then on Sunday, the CBS cameras will switch their coverage to the Lakers and the Mavericks for number 4 in Dallas at 3:30 Eastern Time. Then on Memorial Day on Monday afternoon, 3 Eastern Time, Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final between the Pistons and the winner here this afternoon. Tommy Heinsohn, I think the Atlanta Hawks are guaranteeing Larry Bird a long, tough afternoon.
They sure are. You're going to see right now that Larry Bird really doesn't know where the next pass is going to. You'll see him start to move down to the baseline. And as soon as he turns, Tree Rollins comes over to help out. But watch this man come over here to take Robert Parrish. He thought that man was open, and immediately they've got him second-guessing himself.
And as a result, he is watching from the Celtic bench right now. Boston has scored only 2 field goals in its last 5 minutes and 14 seconds. A tough battle here against the Hawks. Johnson's shot is rejected, and an offensive foul is called against Boston. That is the 3rd personal on Dennis Johnson. So he gets into early foul trouble here, and Casey Jones must make a decision.
Atlanta has a lot of shot blockers. Dennis Johnson is very, very important. He has been running this ball club all season long. That would leave it in the hands of Danny Ainge. And that's a what they're going to have to do right now is let Danny Ainge run it. He has played fairly effectively against Spud Webb.
So 2 big lineup adjustments for the Celtics as Johnson leaves with 3 and Bird is back on the floor and off the penetration that time.
Atlanta just spreads people out and lets their guards take it right to the hoop, and Battle can sure take advantage of that, and so can Rivers.
You know, that's the opening turnover by the Hawks in this number 7. They have played awfully well as Paxson tries to get the layup to fall, could not, but there was a foul.
Paxson comes off the picks, and nobody knows how to read those situations better than Paxson.
Rivers returning for Atlanta. Battle goes out. That foul is Hastings' 2nd of the game.
Atlanta has used their fast break attack when it's there. They've made good decisions on who to give the ball to for layups and power dunks.
What a strange series this has become. Number 5, Atlanta, upsetting the Celtics in the Boston Garden. But in number 6, the Celtics appeared to be a little more comfortable. And now this afternoon in the first half of number 7, it's the Hawks who feel at home in the Boston Garden. Perhaps Red Auerbach should get that honorary degree in a hurry and get into the Boston Garden. He probably has the leprechaun inside his suit coat pocket.
You got to pay off the leprechaun, too. You know, there's a pot of gold around here someplace.
Speaking of leprechauns, Spud Webb just gave it up. And Wilkins going back to work, and the foul is called.
Celtics have not really been able to get into their offensive scheme, and the Hawks are feeling more comfortable each succeeding minute. And they are perfectly capable of going into a 10-point spurt with that fast break.
Watching the second period, you'd think that the hockey game had broken out early with the way they're shifting lineups here, like the line shifts. Rivers moves it over into the corner. Outside Dominique. Willis was left alone and got it to fall back in.
Now that was a breakdown by Robert Parrish, who's really been playing great in this series.
He got it into McHale's hands. That's 13 for McHale, who is carrying the scoring burden. Webb brings it back outside. Keeping the Hawks at the perimeter. And so Webb will take it short. All Celtics for the rebound.
He's been taking jump shots in a prior game from about 17 feet. That time was about 20 feet.
Not giving Bird any shooting room. Harris couldn't get it to fall. Paxson attempted to tap it back in. Atlanta's ball. From the corner. All net for Dominique. 16 here in the first half. Forced to the outside neatly by Hastings, and Ainge hits the 3.
He's a guy that has to heat up from the outside. When he has Spud Webb on him, he has great confidence.
Dominique short that time. Ainge lets it go out. It'll be the Celtic ball. His 3-point shot and cut the lead in half. Whitman returns for the Hawks to work in the backcourt with Rivers. Wilkins, Hastings, and Willis up front. Long pass, and Ainge saves it.
Danny Ainge with that outside shot got Spud Webb out of the game.
Parrish picks for Bird. Gets the roll.
No double team coming off the pick that time. That is shooting hand wide open.
Crowd slowly climbing back in as the Celtics run off 5 unanswered points. Rivers quiets it at least momentarily. A very important trip for Atlanta, and 10 for Rivers.
What poise Rivers has shown in this series.
Back to Ainge. Misses this 3. Whitman rebound. Quickly up the floor. the whistle. Stop play. Evans with the whistle underneath. Against McHale. It's his first personal, and he's not happy about it. Got a timeout.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest games.
Tommy, no love lost between Willis and McHale in this series.
It's been going on the whole series. A little contact here and there. You watch him right now as Willis McHale being double teamed, and a little nudge out there. Nothing serious. But right here you're going to see Kevin McHale trying to stay with Willis coming up the court on the fast break. And here's some serious stuff going on as McHale held him, and then Willis just smacked him in the nose, and then back comes McHale, and they call the second one. That's what McHale was complaining about. You didn't see the first one. All you did was see the second one. I'm not going to stand for that anymore. And that's what happens in a series. Physical things grow. One punch to another blow to another one, and then they get mad.
As is so frequently the case, the official turns around and sees that second blow, and not the one that perhaps touched the incident off. The Atlanta Hawks with possession now. They have played magnificently in Game 7 so far. Wilkins can't get it to fall. Diving effort by Whitman, and rather Hastings did a great save for the Hawks. Short again that time.
Reggie Lewis is in for the Celtics, and he's played fairly effectively in the minutes he's played in this series.
Tap back in by McHale.
That blow that McHale took on the nose may have really broken that spell, gotten their juices flowing.
That's the time remaining in the first half in your lower right-hand corner. Breaking free is Whitman, and he has shot extremely well here with 10 points in the first half for Atlanta.
Boy, that's just setting triple picks for him. He goes off one pick and then off another two. Very difficult to stay with him on that baseline.
He starts 5 of 6. Bird with a very difficult angle gets it to fall. And now Bird beginning to warm up, but the Hawks had an easy shot and Willis blew it. Willis blew the jam, and a foul goes against Boston. That foul against McHale is his second.
Before this game is over, there's liable to be a fight in this game.
Breaking around again from the screen is Whitman. Up over the top, Boston's ball.
There's the last play, and there's the cram. It just went up too hard. And Bird trying to take it away from Dominique, and McHale right in there slapped it away.
The Celtics can take the lead. Reggie Lewis's first action, and he gets it to fall. The rookie from Northeastern here in Boston puts the Celtics up, and our 12th lead change in the first half, but our first in some time.
And he changed the direction of one of the games up here at the Boston Garden, put some life into the Celtics.
He has put some life into the crowd, and Wilkins will try to quiet them, and he does. That's 18.
He has
first
been
half points.
Sensational with those bank shots.
Parrish puts it on the floor.
An old Celtic play from back in the 50s, and Tree Rollins thought he had a defense perfectly, but he forgot that Parrish kept his hands on the ball.
You mean Bill Russell used to drive the lane like that?
Absolutely. It was a little split pick situation like that, and every once in a while, Russell, if you would roll to the hoop too.
I can remember Dave Collins taking it there for a coach by the name of Heinsohn. 3:30 first half. Parrish did a good job against Willis that time. Whitman wanted to drop the ball into the inside. Parrish half fronting him. So Rivers from the outside misses, and the Celtics rebound.
The Celtics have extended their defense out onto the guards of the Hawks, making it more difficult to hit that outside shot.
The Celtics grind back into number 7. The old-fashioned way. They've earned it.
They're letting Parrish go one-on-one and not doubling him. They're spending all their energy on Bird and McHale.
The Celtics' biggest lead, 3 points. Tommy, it's always nice to bring a Harvard man back to Boston. James Brown, what's cooking at halftime?
All right, Brent. Well, right now, talk about a 10-2 run by the Celtics, giving them the lead at 3. We've got a lot of excitement here. We do have some excitement coming up for you on the Prudential at the half. We'll hear from the Los Angeles Lakers about their narrow escape from the Utah Jazz yesterday. We'll also learn why the Lakers are not the only happy team in Tinseltown. Look out for the crosstown rival, Los Angeles Clippers. And with so many Game 7s, it's easy to forget about the Detroit Pistons. We haven't forgotten about them. We'll have that and more coming your way on the Prudential at the half. Back to you, Brent.
All right, James, thank you very much. And for the Celtics, that man on the bench there, partially obscured, is Bill Walton. He's becoming the mouth of Boston. He took on the Lakers verbally. He said Byron Scott had padded his scoring totals in a blowout, so he couldn't be blamed. To which Kareem Abdul-Jabbar replied, "What else did Dr. Scholl have to say?" Walton, of course, unable to play because of that foot injury, but the rivalry already heating up. The Utah Jazz and the Atlanta Hawks have put up some resistance. Carr is back in the game, and they move it quickly to Whitman on the weak side. Good ball movement by the Atlanta Hawks for that field goal, and 12 points for Whitman here in the first half. Ainge seal up, finds Bird. Bird gets it in with a slick pass to McHale.
And Doc Rivers not able to go down and double off Danny Ainge. They don't want to give him the outside shot, so that's what opened up that pass.
And Whitman comes back, having his game of the series. The Celtics have hit their last 6 field goals and up by only 1. Here's McHale. Foul. He'll come to the free throw line for a pair.
Just throwing Reggie Lewis in there right now, and Danny Ainge being defended by Doc Rivers has taken Doc Rivers out of the free safety defense that Atlanta was kind of playing. Going to stick with Ainge on the outside. That's been their game plan all the while. So the inside game of Boston may be easier and easier for them to get to.
Rollins leaves with those 3 first personal fouls as Willis steps back onto the parquet floor here for the Hawks. Along with McHale's points here this afternoon, 18 in the first half. He also has 8 of the Celtics' 14 rebounds. Wilkins to the attack for the Hawks. He has gone most of the way here in the first half.
And Ainge trying to deny Doc Rivers the ball, forcing Wilkins to run the offense for the Hawks.
Wilkins from the perimeter.
That's running the offense.
20 points for Dominique. One-point Boston lead. Bird going back to Reggie. And it goes over to the Hawks. Casey Jones did not like that call by Jake O'Donnell. And he lets the referee know as he heads back down the floor. Open man is Rivers, and Parrish rejected it out of bounds. Neat move defensively by Parrish. Turnaround.
They have been trying to make Larry Bird face the ball offensively.
McHale fouled.
Carr in this ball game, if Larry Bird has to defend against him, could have a field day. Larry Bird is not a good low post defender. He has been foul prone, Antoine Carr, in this series.
Getting to the line, one of the secrets to the long-time success of the Celtics over the years, as McHale, with that free throw, ties it at 54.
You know, matchups are so important in this series after each team gets to know each other just a little bit, the play patterns. And sometimes you're forced to play a guy that you're not used to playing, and it's all the difference in the world. And Reggie Lewis being in this ball game right now, being effective, has put Doc Rivers against Danny Ainge and vice versa.
Carr gets in on the drive. So Carr with back-to-back field goals. Time ticking away in the first half. Lewis in low, pulls up with a slip jump shot.
He was a forward in college, and he feels most at home down in that low post.
Rolling off and getting it back was Carr. 3 consecutive field goals by Antoine Carr.
And they're looking again to see what Larry Bird did on that play. As soon as he moved to the switch, they got it to Carr.
Last shot time. Get it back to Parrish. Pumps once and hits it for Boston and puts them back in the lead. A 1-point Celtic lead. Dominique missing at the buzzer. The Celtics lead number 7 by the narrowest of margins, and James Brown will be back after this message.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest games.
The Celtics shooting much better here in the second period in the Boston Garden, 73% for overall percentage of 62 in the first half. And Larry Bird, struggling, wound up with 10 first half points. And of course they were beaten in number 5 here the other night by the Atlanta Hawks.
Well, Robert Parrish has been available. They've been only single teaming him, so he may be able to become a factor in this second half offensively in a low post as an alternative option to Kevin McHale.
Randy Scott Whitman blazing away for the Atlanta Hawks. 7 of 9 in the first half for the Indiana graduate as Dominique Wilkins tries to put a move and then goes up over the top of McHale and misses the first shot of the second half.
Usually coming out of the locker room, you like to take it to the hoop, get a foul on the team, or pound it inside.
Celtics turn with their first offensive foray here in the second half. Ainge quickly hits the open man, and he continues cold. Dennis Johnson not in the scoring column yet.
They are just daring Dennis Johnson to take the shot.
Rivers sets the table. Wilkins misses his first 2. Johnson winds up with it.
He's playing the second half like the defense of the Celtics dictated in the first half. He has opportunities, it looks like to me, to go to the hoop now.
Bird looking to pass, then puts it on the parquet and finds McHale dropping back. So Bird drew the double team to him and then made the superb pass. 23 points for McHale.
That is the toughest pass, a lob pass to connect. You only got the fingernails as a target to the receiver.
Inside to Willis, but a push-off is called.
Celtics have been committing on a pick-and-roll play to switching their big men out on a little guy of the Hawks. And that leaves one of the Hawks' big guys down in a low area with one of the smallest Celtic players, and they've capitalized on that the entire series.
This is not how the Hawks started the game. They do not seem to have that confidence that they displayed in the early moments. Bird is up with the shot. Mike Fratello might need an early timeout. And he'll go to it right now. You cannot let number 7 slip away for a moment or it'll be lost. Well, the weekend lineup for the CBS coverage of the NBA playoffs on Saturday, Eastern Conference at 3:30 Eastern. Then on Sunday, down in Dallas, the Lakers and the Mavericks, 3:30 Eastern. And then because it's Memorial Day, we'll have a Monday afternoon game, Eastern Conference Final number 4. Tommy Hudson?
Trying to get Larry Bird into the offense a little bit more, trying to free up his shooting hand. He has a great pick by Robert Parrish, just knocks Dominique Wilkins off the play. Tree Rollins has to switch, and Tree just doesn't get there quick enough as the master of the half-inch gets that jump shot off.
Bird started out 2 of 7. He has hit his last 3. Warming to the task at home, and indeed there is a bundle of that pride here in the New England area.
That was a very basic play that the Celtics used that time to shake Bird loose.
So the bench not coming up with as many points here today, but Fratello has stuck longer with his starters as McHale comes over on Rivers neatly. Now for the first time, we see the Celtics taking command. Bird forces one, missed everything that time and was under pressure.
Whitman appeared, got a piece of it.
Willis off the dribble. Celtics rebound.
Celtics have taken the jump hook away from Kevin Willis. They're playing on his left shoulder when he's posting up and forcing him to take those fall-away jump shots.
McHale being stopped by Willis that time. He wanted to go in even lower. Bird looking for a receiver as Parrish comes across, and Larry will take the shot as the shot clock winds down, and Atlanta comes up with the miss. Dominique, and the Hawks need his contribution offensively. Offense. It goes against Atlanta. That's the second on Rivers. KC calling the play. Into McHale. Hanging off Rollins. Comes inside the double team for the field goal.
He's getting double teamed, boy, but nobody slices through them better than Kevin McHale. He squirms through them.
This is the biggest lead for the Celtics. Whitman. And Randy Whitman has had himself a game here. Originally drafted in the first round by the Washington Bullets. Traded to the Hawks for Tom McMillan and a second-round draft choice.
Celtics got out after the outside shooters the tail end of the second quarter, but they've given it to him again.
Oh, the open man McHale, and coming back was Antoine Carr, and he fouled McHale.
Remember that play in the beginning of the game that we talked about, that little curl play off the low post? That was the same play, only 2 men made a mistake for the Hawks and left McHale wide open. Here it comes again, off the top, and Carr just, I guess it was Willis, made a bad gamble, and Carr had to come over and stop McHale from making the shot.
26 points for Kevin McHale to go with his 11 rebounds, and he is perfect so far with his 6 free throw attempts. The Hawks are going to need a burst by Dominique Wilkins.
Has the switch.
And Rivers up over Parrish.
That's a great play. Rivers put it over the tallest man the Celtics could throw in that defense.
And McHale is stopped. A big stop by the Atlanta defense. Here's Wilkins. And that's what they must have. The open court game turning Dominique loose to climb back in it. It's 22 points for Nick.
They can throw 10 points at you so fast, the Hawks.
And KC will slow it up right now by using a Celtic timeout here. 7:30, third period, a 3-point Boston lead. Glad you could join us today from the Boston Garden. With Tommy Heinsohn, I'm Brent Musburger. The Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. And when it comes to experience, the Celtics have all of it as far as Game 7 is concerned. Not only with the players, but also the head coaches. Tommy Heinsohn, what is it that Red Auerbach says about experience?
It means, experience means bleep, bleep.
It only matters what happens here this afternoon.
The building never wins a game. It's the team.
And there's the empty chair for Arnold.
There, Red Auerbach, I know, hating to miss this one. He's made all the big ones this year. Not here as many times as he used to be for every home game, but he wouldn't have missed this one.
He had made a promise to accept an honorary degree this afternoon, and that's why he's not here.
That's correct, and man of his word.
Doctorate in victories, and they swing it to the open man. Dennis Johnson's first field goal.
Now that's a big shot. They're going to continue, I would expect, to let DJ take those shots.
Dominique responds.
Boy, he is starting to heat up again from the outside. He's taking the right shots and hitting them. No force here today by Dominique.
McHale on the drive. Didn't get the roll, and Rivers puts it to the parquet. Dominique didn't get it to fall. The only thing that Wilkins ever has to avoid is trying to do too much all by himself. Johnson.
Well, you can tell he's been in 7 games, and lots of them. No pressure there, even though he did not have a good first half. He's looking right at the hoop.
The Celtics will attempt to keep Dominique at the perimeter and not shooting layups. Whitman, though, has blazed away from that perimeter. 18 points, his high of the series. By far his best game.
I don't understand why Boston double teams Tree Rollins.
Ainge hits the three. His second three of the game.
Game like this will test a team that hasn't played in 7-game series.
On the double team, they fouled him that time. Ainge has become quite a good golfer. He goes home late this afternoon. He'll probably check in and see who wins the Colonial. That's coming up next here on CBS. In deep. Carr, three-point opportunity for the Hawks. A big moment for Antoine Carr, who put together 3 consecutive field goals during a span in the first half.
What a great pass over the top of Robert Parrish just to allow Carr to gain possession of the ball. Celtics are trying to deny any pass into the low post, and that was a perfect pass made by, I believe, Doc Rivers.
This has not been a game featuring Spud Webb. Mike Fratello bending down to have a few words with his pint-sized star. Johnson, who is warming to the task.
Now he's looking for the outside shot. Ducked right behind that pick and said, I'm going to clank it.
Ainge was fronting Rollins. Gets it in low for that hook shot, and that's his first field goal of the game. He has averaged less than 6 a game in this series so far.
Took him a long time to recognize the mismatch, however.
Bird forced out of the shot, gives it up to Whitman, and now races back defensively. And Whitman with a slick pass to Dominique Wilkins.
Again, that double team of Bird, and he misread where the open man was.
So an early burst by the Celtics in the second half, but they cannot shake these Hawks. Underneath, the foul is called by Evans. Rivers taking a couple of moments to catch his breath.
This is a dandy game. I'll tell you, there's plenty of spunk in the Atlanta Hawks. have come out. They measured the first quarter. They had the right emotional pitch. In fact, they look like they played in more 7-game series than the Celtics did in that first quarter.
Well, just when folks were beginning to write off this team after 2 quick losses to the Celtics, the Hawks rebounded and won the next 3. Then let the series slip away from them in Atlanta. But here in number 7, they are still eyeball to eyeball with the Boston Celtics. And now to McHale, who has played spectacularly on offense. Johnson wanted to go back, but his man had cut off on him. Ainge not there. 7 turnovers. Atlanta's ball, and the Hawks can regain the lead.
What great defense that trip by the Hawks.
Antoine Carr. And he has had the shooting touch here in the Boston Garden. 11 points for Carr. Remaining in the third in your lower right-hand corner. Rollins coming over on Ainge, and a body was used over there in the corner, and Jake O'Donnell with the whistle. And that is a big number 4 on Atlanta center Tree Rollins.
That's a big loss for the Hawks because he truly knows how to play in the paint and be the middle linebacker of that team. Take what he has to take coming to him. And Willis not so good at it.
Bird gets it in low on the turnaround against Wilkins. Atlanta started 0 for 5 this quarter. Since then, they are 9 of 10 from the field. It's against Parrish. That's his second.
Now Bird is guarding Antoine Carr, giving him the spot too.
And that time Bird stuck with him. Ainge looking in for Parrish. They have silenced Parrish on the inside pretty much so far. And that time, they were trying to silence him too much. In fact, they were mugging him as he was coming through the paint. That's 3 on Carr.
Well, he has a tough job trying to stay with Robert Parrish now. Parrish much bigger.
Dominique in the corner on Bird. Double team off his shoe. Full 24. Fratello yelling defensive instructions. Ainge short with the 3. And underneath, the foul goes against Atlanta.
Fighting for the spot, huh? You want to get over the box. There's McHale trying to get that spot, hold it. Willis bumps him. McHale bumps him. They spins back to the middle trying to get rebound position, and Willis says, I'm spinning you out of there, and that's what they got. I don't know when they get the goal to call a foul when there's so much bumping. It could have been right from the beginning of that replay. They call it at the end. What contact goes on there? You really have to have a great temperament. You know who had the greatest temperament playing a low post? Wilt Chamberlain. He used to literally get mugged every single night.
A 3-point Celtic lead. Willis gets it into Dominique's hands. He comes up with the shot, and he's fouled. Put him on the line.
Dominique is a competitor. There is no quit in Dominique. He carried his team on his shoulders as the Hawks went through a series of injury problems most of this season.
And with that free throw, Tommy, he has tied the game at 80 here. Boston 80, Atlanta 80. And Ainge against that trap in the corner has it knocked out by Atlanta. Celtics ball. With Roberts checking in for the first time in the second half. McHale will take a break.
In case Quincy Jones right now is trying to set up a combination where McHale can come in and anchor the rest of the Celtic bench going into the fourth quarter.
He scored 29 points and pulled down 11 rebounds. Bird cutting inside, had Parrish open and didn't get it to him quickly enough, but gets it back and then can't get the shooter's roll. Taken away by Johnson. Bain. Atlanta still can't come up with it. Inside to Parrish. Now it's Johnson again. And the Hawks are paying a price in the second half for continuing to leave him open.
Celtics have let Whitman wide open. He's responded for the Hawks.
In deep to Dominique. Pulled away by Dennis Johnson. All 8 of his points here in the second half. Now Bird is a clear out, gets it back to Johnson. Off the fake, tried to draw the foul. Roberts off the drive into the paint. That's not the shooter the Celtics want, and the Hawks bring it back. Quickly now to Rivers, who moves it to Wilkins.
They push the ball up, and Wilkins is out on the wing. You better get him and pick him up right in the corner, or it's a jam or an easy shot. He is a power player on a fast break.
Last 45 seconds of the third period with the score deadlocked again, 82 all. Johnson, short. Parrish takes it away. Cannot get it to fall. The Hawks can regain the lead here after 3 periods.
They're going to let him play in this fourth quarter. Getting very physical down in that paint.
We have had 11 ties and 22 lead changes already. There's time for the layup. Celtics regain it. The costly turnover. And after 3 periods in the Boston Garden, the Celtics are ahead of the Atlanta Hawks. 84-82. We'll return to the Garden after this message and a word from your local station.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest games.
Tommy Heinsohn, it gets physical even for someone covering the NBA.
Well, we're going to show you a unique thing. We're going to telestrator. We're going to show you what can happen off the court. Right here, you watch this man as the ball is coming down this way. He is not in play, but he will be shortly.
Oh,
Bang!
Larry Epstein, who pulls cable for us, took one for the team. Are you okay, big fella? Give us a thumbs up. Attaboy. Tough guy down there at the end line. We start period number 4. It has been a splendid series all the way. The Celtics lead the Hawks by 2, 84-82. McHale back out there with Parrish and Bird, Ainge and Johnson. They seem to be on the floor all the time, don't they, for the Boston Celtics? Johnson maneuvering, cannot get open as Willis had jumped out, and that left McHale open all alone underneath.
On a basket.
No basket.
Jake O'Donnell was going to give it to him, but Dick Favetta said no basket. Was watching as the alternate official.
So the Hawks come down with a chance to tie it as the 24-second shot clock expired, costing the Celtics that field goal. And the Hawks do tie it with an easy inside field goal.
What a heads-up play by John Battle. He just read what was going on perfectly.
The Hawks doing a spectacular job of not letting Parrish take command down on the inside in this game. Johnson Johnson throws it up on the drive, and the foul was called as he began the penetration.
Now what's happening, because Dennis Johnson has made a couple of those outside shots, they're rushing at him, and that'll turn him loose going to the hoop.
So Bird over there discussing with the Celtic Brain Trust. Of course, as soon as we conclude number 7, we get out to Fort Worth, Texas for the final round of Colonial. At the free throw line, the Celtics have outscored the Hawks by 10. Now make it 11. The Celtics are 17 of 18. And Atlanta 6 of 6. So the difference in this game for Boston is their success at the free throw line. Not unusual for the Celtics. Some have suggested that the Leprechaun wears a striped shirt. However, it was interesting to note that Don Nelson doesn't think so after covering the Celtics on television. It's a different view, Tommy, than when you're coaching over there. Rivers rolling off, and the foul call on the outside. It's against Ainge, and that's his third.
That has been a good play for the Hawks, with Carr setting the pick for Doc Rivers. That time Ainge tried to break it up by making sure Carr could not roll to the hoop for the layup.
86-84, Boston ahead of Atlanta as we have started the payoff period here in the Boston Garden. Good defense by McHale, but Carr gets it back, and what a force he has been. If there has been a surprise, he's it in number 7. 13 points for Carr, and a foul in the backcourt against Rivers. His fourth. The Hawks continue to exert pressure on the ball.
They just bring Robert Parrish back there so that Dennis Johnson can rub that pressure man off him and make it easier for him to bring the ball up.
Bird now cuts free.
And Willis did not switch out fast enough to get to Bird.
And as a result, the Celtics lead at 88-86. Battle, who has checked in for Coach Fratello, sends it on the inside to Carr. Carr snaps a pass into the middle, and the Hawks get the roll.
Antoine Carr down that low post. He can see things down there. Great passer from inside the defense.
Tied at 88 with Bird again pulling up, putting Boston ahead. 18 points for Bird. Stolen almost, but Willis comes up with it and gets the roll to tie it again with 9:18 to go and 10 for Kevin Willis.
What a ball game. Wow.
What you hope for when you watch a number 7. Parrish getting it into Ainge's hands. Bird attempting to break free, stays with it, and the foul is called. The continuation for Larry Bird.
Ainge is picked up. Now watch Bird just get the ball and wheel into the defense. It's banged and lets it fly lefty. Hail Mary.
Just like he rehearsed it. Celtics lead at timeout. Well, our summary reveals a dead-even game, but the Celtics lead by 2 on the strength of a miracle. Perhaps this is what Larry Bird had in mind when he guaranteed a victory. Tommy Heinsohn, this is some play.
Well, what Larry Bird does, probably better than any of the other players because he's not a leaper, he doesn't worry about falling on the floor. He just keeps his eye on the target all the time. And he doesn't worry. Look at him looking up to see where he can pick it off the glass. Now, he's not a leaper, and he just throws himself a lot into the defense, doesn't worry about falling.
He is 7 of his last 10, 9 of 17 for the game. Crowd is up for Bird, and the Celtics lead it 92-90, but the mighty might of the Atlanta Hawks has checked in, and he has been quiet here so far. One Spud Webb, who is averaging 10 points a game, is scoreless so far, but he is on the floor.
And this might be the best time to put him in the ballgame, because if the Celtics have any fatigue whatsoever, he's liable to be able to exploit it with that speed. But he's got to handle the ball to do it.
15 times. 22 lead changes. The Celtics once were up by 7. Dominique hits a 3.
Wow.
He is 14 of 25 here with 34 points this afternoon. And the crowd grows ever so quiet after that 3. With Bird coming back and hitting. No, it rolled out, and the Hawks rebound, and they can take the lead.
Great switch out that time by Willis to really bother Bird on that shot.
Battle trying to bring it up quickly. Gets it to Willis, and a great defensive move by Bird as he steals the ball for the Celtics. Lead to Bird off the fake. Improves his position, and the Celtics are up again. 95 to 93. 23 for Bird. 7:55. Dominique to the hardwood. Rebound, McHale. Bird.
They really shut down Dominique's attack angle that time.
Inside to Perry. Celtics by 4. 96, 97 to 93. And Larry Bird has led the way with 9 of Boston's 13 fourth-quarter points, Tommy.
People try to take him in a low post, and once they get the ball, they can score over him. But he will not let you feel him, and he'll step out and steal it. But look what happens. He gets on the front end. Now he knows that Spud Webb is going to pick him up, and he can get right by him, and that's his shot.
Ah, yes, the leprechaun. The Hawks trail it by 4, 97-93. Battle penetrates. Bird was there, and Battle stuck with it. And again, the Hawks quiet down the crowd. They stick within 2.
That penetration has been hurting the Celtics the entire series. One-on-one by the guards, and Battle really has got some great speed.
And they've elected to take Webb out again here for the stretch. Ainge gives it up to Johnson. He penetrates for the Celtics. And it's a 4-point lead again as Dennis Johnson with 14 second-half points.
A rush out again on him. He just showed him the ball, made them all leap at him, and took it to the hoop.
Whitman still hot.
He has responded. The Celtics said, hey, we're going to let him prove it to us from the outside. He's more than proved it to them.
20 of their 97 points. Trailing by 2. Ainge comes around the horn. They drop it to Parrish. Relatively quiet in the second half. Good defense on the inside. McHale could not get the rebound as Willis gets to it. Now the Hawks can tie.
Celtics only covering the offensive ball with 2 men because Bird has fallen back to protect them against the Hawks' fast break.
Oh, if you're an Atlanta Hawk fan, it must be agony watching in your living room right now. Oh, every trip. Wilkins ties it for Atlanta.
What a game.
36 for Dominique in number 7. Who could ask for anything more? 5:50. Bird cuts free, left hands it for the field goal that puts Mason Jones and the Celtics back on top, 101-99.
A mano-mano duel, Bird versus Wilkins. This is a type of game of who's going to blink first.
Wilkins responds, and he has tied it at 101. 38 points for Wilkins.
By this time, both players are unconscious. By that I mean they've got their game groove. The adrenaline is way pumped up, and anything's liable to happen between the 2 of them.
It's Bird's turn, and the Celtics have the lead. 103-101, and both benches are enjoying what they're watching with these 2 teams. Bird with 13 points in this quarter.
It's a duel. Put down your saber.
Wilkins this time gives it up and then gets it back. And Dominique high off the glass. 40 points for Wilkins, and the game is tied at 103. Bird inside of Wilkins, snapped the pass to Parrish. Bird was open if he'd gotten it back. Instead, it's McHale's turn, and he's fouled by Rollins. And that, for Trey Rollins, is number 5. Rivers returning for the Hawks. Here's a man who's played awfully well off the bench, Antoine Carr, back in the game for the Hawks. He scored 13 here this afternoon as a sub.
That poses a problem for the Celtics because Larry Bird ends up defending Tree Rollins, but now they have to guard Carr or Willis or Dominique.
Here is the left-handed shot, if you will, by Larry Bird, creating something in the middle. And McHale has created a 30-point game here this afternoon. Perfect at that free throw line. Has put Boston back up by 2 points. 31 from McHale, 12 rebounds. 11 of 11 from the free throw line.
I don't think I've ever seen two stars respond like they have in this fourth quarter, both Bird and Dominique Wilkins.
Wilkins gets it back with Johnson all over him now. And they'll go to Doc Rivers. He jacks the three, and it's off the mark, but Antoine Carr has it. Knocked free by Johnson. Atlanta's ball. Whitman's the open man. And he parries it to tie it again. Boston's turn. Bird snaps free. Comes up with a shot, and the Celtics lead it.
They doubled him that time off the pick. He was going to try a pass to Parrish. He wasn't there, and he had to shoot it.
Bird with 29. Hawks will try to tie it.
Trying to take advantage of Bird in that low post.
Dominique penetrates, bounces, missed the shot. Celtics ball, no whistle, but you couldn't hear a thing. Dennis Johnson slow to come down the floor, shaken up. They may need a 20. Dennis Johnson cannot rejoin his mates. They've got to have a timeout because of Johnson. He was shaken up on that trip down the floor. 3:06 to go.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest games.
Well, today we've got 2 heavyweights, and next Sunday on CBS Sports Sunday, 2 light heavyweights will go at it, Lalonde and Stewart, and we'll also have the Oceanside Triathlon from Southern California coming your way. Take a look at this replay. Dennis Johnson, trying to draw the charge, is shaken up. And I suspect in these instances the officials prefer to let them play. And for a moment you thought maybe Johnson was bluffing, but he could not come down the floor. He was shaken up on this sequence, Tommy.
Yes, he got right in there, and that could have gone in favor of the Celtics, but I'm in agreement with you on these type of situations. Experienced officials want the teams to win or lose by scores, not foul shots. So it's got to be very, very flagrant before they're going to call something.
Well, from Boston with Tommy Heinsohn, I'm Brent Musburger. And it has been a classic number 7. The Celtics lead it 107-105 over the Hawks. In this period, Larry Bird has scored 15 and Dominique Wilkins 9. Bird is 7 of 8 from the field. Wilkins is 4 of 6. And the Celtics again attempt to build a 4-point lead. And in this game, that's huge. Knocked away from Bird. Atlanta can tie it. Now, Randy Whitman today is 11 of 13. He is perfect this half. He's hit all 4 of his shots. Knocked out of bounds. Hawks ball. 12 seconds on that shot clock.
Trying to isolate Rivers that time on Dennis Johnson, figuring he might have been a little bit hurt. Maybe we can get around him.
We've had 22 lead changes in this game. Rivers off the mark that time, and the Hawks save it, and as the shot clock goes off, Rivers tried to beat it but did not. It's a turnover. It'll go out of bounds on the side to the Celtics, who lead it 107-105. We have 2:30 left in regulation. The crowd working itself into a frenzy. McHale in low has it knocked away, and he's fouled by Willis. That is 4 on Willis.
At this crucial time of the game, Boston will try and pick Kevin McHale to the spot underneath the basket, so there won't be any bumping around. So it's a timing play as to when he gets open to give him the ball.
McHale has scored 31 here today, and he is perfect with all 12 of his free throws.
Willis will be under the gun. He's got great speed, but he's going to have to fight through a pick to get to McHale.
The difference at the line continues. The Hawks use a timeout. Just listen to this crowd. I can't believe that someone's sleeping through the frantic moments here.
Must be used to sleeping with noise like that. Must live underneath the subway or something.
What are some of the options here for the Atlanta Hawks?
Well, the Hawks have two prime options, Doc Rivers or Dominique Wilkins. I'm sure the Celtics will be geared to try and cut down the penetration. They have allowed Wilkins to take the outside shot. They're going to have to play him a little bit tougher. The same for Rivers. But now they also have Carr being defended by Bird.
Carr on the turnaround. Cannot get it to fall. Boston can move up by 6. The Atlanta Hawks have been held to 1 field goal in the last 2 minutes plus. So the defensive stand by the Celtics. And it's Bird. There is blood on the right side of Dennis Johnson's face. He is cut at the right eye as he comes out defensively. Now he goes into double team. And the duel continues. 42 for Wilkins, 30 for Bird. It's 112-107 Boston. The Hawks must have a stop.
Celtics have had mistakes trying to work it down too fine to Bird.
Johnson rimmed out. He has wiped the blood away now from the side of his face. Larry Bird promised it, and he is delivering in this quarter with 18 points. This a critical trip for the Atlanta Hawks. They trail at 112-107. The pass back. Dominique is hammered underneath. The Celtics disagree with the call, but he did not get the field goal and a chance for the three-pointer. That was Dennis Johnson a few moments ago as he was scratched there on the side of his eye.
He will be put under the gun. The Celtics trying to work the clock down. Sometimes they work it down too fine before they work for a shot, and they virtually give that possession away without really ending up with a good shot attempt. Now the Hawks almost did the same thing themselves.
Livingston checks in. It's now a 3-point Celtic lead. 112-109, 47 seconds. Another defensive stop. A must here for the Hawks.
Hawks have gone small now. And Livingston is defending against Parrish so that he can jump out on Bird on those picks.
Johnson gets it into Bird, and Wilkins is there. Bird comes free. Bird for the layup. You are watching what greatness is all about. We began the broadcast by telling you about Larry Bird, who, following the Game 6 victory by the Celtics in Atlanta, guaranteed a win in number 7, saying the Hawks blew their chance by losing number 6. Larry Bird started the game slowly, but here in the 4th period, he has shown you why he's a future Hall of Famer. 20 points this quarter. He is 9 of 10 in this period. He has hit his last 6 field goals, and as far as Larry Bird is concerned, it's Detroit, here we come.
You know, one of the things Dominique Wilkins has been playing him the entire series, while Bird has been getting the easier, or one of the easier offensive people on the Hawks to play. So Dominique on that last play just looked like he was worn out defensively. He's been carrying the offensive load for the Hawks here in the fourth quarter himself.
Tommy, we have 26 seconds to go. It's 114-109. The Atlanta Hawks can be thinking about a three-pointer here, and then they need a quick steal to try and get back. They trail it by 5 points. Wilkins looks. Now he'll take it for the 2 first and hope to draw the foul. Taps it back in, and they stay off it. He moves him to within 3. They need the ball. The open man's Ainge. And he was fouled. And the Atlanta Hawk bench can't believe it. They thought Ainge blew it.
Said it was goaltending. Let's take a look at it. Danny Ainge has a good attack angle, and Rivers goes up there. Looked like he sweat. Couldn't tell it from there, but Ainge would have picked it up and could have put it back in, and immediately right away the official says goaltending.
And it was that. The Boston Celtics will win this series. The free throws. There's the pressure in the backcourt. They get it to Dennis Johnson, and quickly Rivers fouls him and puts him on the free throw line. 10 seconds left in the game. The Celtics are ahead by 3. So your strategy, Tommy, has given them an opportunity here.
Well, they made the quick foul, and they almost made the steal, but Dennis Johnson just took 1 step up the court and then back to the ball, and Bird, the inbounder, got it to him. Right now, they have to make this free throw to stay out of range.
I get word from our director, Bob Fishman, and our producer, Bob Stenner, that we had the ability to blow it up. We get an opportunity. Maybe it'll be even at the end of the game. We'll take a look and see if Rivers did indeed nick that ball up on the glass and commit a goaltending, as the Celtics have missed a free throw here. 116-113. So still a glimmer of hope for Carr, Livingston, Mike Fratello, and the rest of these gutty Atlanta Hawks, who just will not surrender in this series to the favored Boston Celtics. The question is, did he hit the ball or the glass backboard with his hand, and the ball's still up there? Let's take still another look at it. Keep in mind the hand is the issue here as Doc Rivers comes back.
And as Danny Ainge puts it off the glass, Doc Rivers does not get to it, but if he hits the board while the ball is over the rim, that is goaltending too, because it shakes the ball and can force it out of the basket. Now, it looks like he hit the backboard while the ball was over the cylinder. So
that's a violation, of course, and then it would be a very good call by Evans, who was right there, and you had to give him credit for being in position as Rivers went for the glass. Superb work by our technical crew here this afternoon. I cannot imagine anyone doing a better job under the pressure of a 7th game over a controversial play in an NBA playoff game than what we have just witnessed. Gentlemen, great job on that. I think it was a terrific call. I changed my opinion.
Well, I couldn't see it on the replay, to tell you the truth. It looked like if he did anything, he might have got a finger on it after it hit the glass. But
well, we've had great emotion here this afternoon. Joy etched on the face of Danny Ainge as they appear headed for Detroit.
Well, the opportunity is still here for the Hawks.
Yes,
they'll throw their 3-pointers in and still make a steal play, perhaps.
You know, you talk about Evans. We had, of course, the luxury of the instant replays, and we could view that over and over. But for Evans, he had to stand out there and do it in a split second as the play came. Here's how that would look to the referee. Normal speed as Ainge sets sail and Rivers comes. And he made the call right now.
And the other point is there was not another Hawk in sight, so that even if Ainge had missed it, he would have gotten possession back and could have put it back in off the glass for a 2. So everybody shouldn't get so upset about that play.
The leprechaun lives. 117-113.
When they pick up the floor to show the ice for tonight's game, they'll be He's underneath the floor someplace. And there's a pot of gold, and there'll be a few more coins in the pot.
Well, let's also remember the Celtic defense. They have held Atlanta to 2 field goals since the 3:50 mark of this game. And Wilkins, who has played absolutely brilliantly, gives it up, and Tree Rollins with a left-handed shot in 6 seconds. And again, quickly they go for the steal and commit the foul in the corner, and Dennis Johnson will come up. Now it's 117 to 115. The Celtics lead it by 2 and 5 seconds to go.
Well, Dennis Johnson now has to hit 2 foul shots in order to keep it out of range.
So the Celtics crowd, the 15,000 plus, standing room only, they certainly believe now that the Celtics will move on to take on Detroit in the Eastern Conference Championship Series. We will move in to cover that drama. That'll be another war just like this one for Boston.
What a great series for Doc Rivers. My hat's off to him.
That's it. It'll be the Pistons and the Celtics, a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Championship, but a team that can walk off with their heads awfully high here this afternoon, the Atlanta Hawks.
Still has 1 foul shot to make, Brent.
Seconds left for the Miracle. And the foul by Ainge. Now Jake O'Donnell making the call at the side. No time left on the clock. That's all they had to do. There's no time left on the clock.
And they go over deliberately on Dominique Wilkins to not let him even get off a 3-point attempt. So they'll have to put some time back on the clock. And obviously, the Celtics had a foul to waste and made him work the clock down, and Ainge right away at Wilkins before he got in 3-point, 1 second left.
So they'll have that 1 second when they reset the clock.
Well, Dominique will be shooting 2 foul shots. They didn't have 1 to waste. And he will, if he makes the first one, quite obviously miss the second one, and in comes all the leapers that Mike Fratello can muster.
46 points this afternoon. Perfect at the free throw line.
And Dennis Johnson is really going to put a block on Cliff Livingston, who may, on this miss, to try to work down. You take a wide angle, you're going to see Livingston getting set up at the 3-point line, ready to take 1 leap on the miss of this free throw.
The miss, and that's it. Boston